Sober fam, what is going on? It has been quite some time since I released my latest video. We've been getting quite a bit of inquiries regarding relationships and how to kind of deal with relationships. So I'm hoping that this video helps you guys out on your path to recovery, especially when it comes to dealing with toxic relationships. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right on in. Basically, the first thing that I wanna cover is a sense of belonging. This is something that every one of us experiences, and I've experienced it. One of the most specific instances that comes to mind is one of my exes. This is a person that I used to confide in, and it was a person that I kind of felt this incredible symbiotic bond at the time. So I felt this incredible bond with this person, but I wasn't quite sure, is this the real thing? And slowly what started happening when I was pursuing my path to sobriety, there was this kind of tug of war situation that was going on, this little push-pull situation. And I realized that this individual that I would feel this strong sense of belonging to was really kind of accepting me for the party nature and the addictive and the drug nature and the drinking nature that I had within me. As I was kind of transitioning and going and seeking out my path to sobriety, we had these tidbits and arguments, and I started realizing that there would be 2 or 3 days of happiness followed by 4, 5, 6, sometimes even a week of just arguments and fighting and so on. And really what was going on was, in both of our perspectives, you know, they were losing somebody that they felt that they had a sense of belonging with. One of them was for the better, which was in my case when it came to sobriety. And then the other one obviously is for the worse when it comes to maintaining your addiction and constantly using and drinking. So I'm sure many of you can relate to having this sense of belonging, because really what it is it's an aspect of familiarity. So the second kind of topic that I want to cover is the familiarity aspect. This is someone that you would see on a regular basis. Again, this could be a coworker, this could be a friend, this could be a significant other, it can even be a family member. Although you're gonna have kind of tiers, and it's gonna be difficult to disseminate which one is more impactful than others. Some people are a little bit more drawn to their friends, some people more drawn to their relationship partner, and some people are more drawn to a family member. As I'm kind of going through this, keep that stuff in mind, that I know that your situation is going to be unique just like mine was, but all I can talk about is my own personal experiences, and hopefully that it can generate some key takeaways for you. When it comes to familiarity, you know, it was a routine. You know, you'd go to work, you'd go and hang out afterwards, and then when the weekend came about, you would have this routine, and there would be this constant, you know, need or desire to stay within that routine. And anytime that you're familiar with something, you're kind of comfortable around it, and breaking that comfort is really difficult. So what happens with addiction, and what happened with my addiction, is I was not willing to break that comfort. I was not willing to find something to substitute with that was much more positive for me. And that kind of brings me on to my third topic, which is identity. I chose to build my identity around somebody else and around my social sphere, instead of maintaining my own personal unique identity. So really what was going on was a division of me, and a bigger division of me, really the majority of me, was centered around somebody else. I'm sure that many of us can say, oh, you know what, I always used to do this, and I always used to sacrifice for this, and that it was just really underappreciated or not appreciated at all, and that's kind of what drove us apart. Well, what I started realizing is it was really important for me to establish my own and maintain my own unique individuality and my own identity. And the way that I would do that is I would take one day out of the week and I would dedicate it to myself on the things that I wanted to do, and I wouldn't involve anybody. I wouldn't involve my friends, I wouldn't involve my colleagues, I wouldn't involve my girlfriend. So I would really just kind of carve out this space for myself, and I started realizing that it is completely and entirely possible to live and be happy by yourself and be single. So again, when it comes to family matters and friend matters and so on, it's about picking and choosing what you can and can't do. So in my circumstance, my father was an alcoholic, and I would pick and choose to either hang out with the individual or not hang out with the individual. And when it comes to my friends and colleagues and my girlfriend, same situation. I would pick and choose when to hang out with the individual, under what circumstances. So if everybody was going out and drinking, early on I wasn't strong enough to maintain my sobriety, and I would always kind of falter and succumb to having a drink. But as time progressed, I built my resilience, and I was able to resist that drink. It boils down to 3 key factors. The very first one is a sense of belonging, the second one is a sense of familiarity, and the third one is a sense of change and identity. We're really not wanting to change who we are. We really like the element of keeping things as they are because they fall within that comfort zone. They fall within that familiarity zone. I'm sure that many of us can attest to not even wanting to do the simplest of things like going for a walk when we know that it could be incredibly beneficial for us. So how does this kind of come back to the situation where we are today and my personal situation? And how did I kind of come to this realization? For me, it was intuitive. I would have this voice of reason that was constantly going on inside my head, and that voice of reason was difficult to follow. But I would consider it as a form of guidance, and I would encourage you guys to follow that voice of reason and that guidance when it's telling you, hey, you know what, this isn't good for you, this person isn't good for you. Then there's going to be that little voice that just always says, yeah, but you know what, this person loves me and I love them, and so on. And you're going to have this tug of war situation again. So intuitively, I knew that I would have to swallow the pill and kind of make the tough decisions. And when it came to my personal relationship with my girlfriend, I had to be the one to pull the trigger. I had to be the one to say, you know what, that's it, we're breaking up, and this is just no longer going to work out. I can honestly tell you that it's been about 3 years since I've done that, and now I'm happily married, and life is just absolutely amazing. Completely different individual, completely different paths. I would not change a single thing, and I honestly wake up every single morning much, much happier. I don't have any depression or any regrets or anything to that extent. So I would really, really encourage you to listen to that voice of reason and have that voice of reason get louder and louder and louder, and take that first step, take that first plunge, because it's going to be seriously impactful in your recovery. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really hope to get some comments and input from you guys. I'll be creating more videos as time goes. Thanks so much for your patience. Once again, Sober Movement, your place for a sobriety fix.